Looks like everyone's been dragged into the PR mess between It Ends With Us co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, but Taylor Swift? That girl pulled out faster than you can say ghost. And honey, Blake is mad that her longtime mega superstar bestie has dumped her. This year's Super Bowl was on February 9th at Caesars Dome, New Orleans. And of course, Taylor Swift showed up to support her boo, Travis Kelce. Now, last year, she came to the event arm in arm with besties Blake Lively and Ice Spice. But this year, baby, Blake was nowhere to be found. Sometime during the event, the cameras cut to Taylor's face, and y'all, when I tell you the whole stadium booed her, they booed her. And she just sat there looking all embarrassed. Taylor was there to cheer Travis and the Kansas City Chiefs, so it's possible that the boos might have been from supporters of the rival team, right? Well, not entirely. I mean, if we're counting Taylor Swift's fall from grace, the Kamala Harris campaign would be a good place to start. However, more recently, people really aren't feeling Taylor because of her association with Blake Lively and her sham husband, Ryan Reynolds. Sources close to Taylor Swift has said that she has been unhappy since the start of the whole drama and the explosive lawsuits between Blake and Justin. It's safe to say that she was dragged into Blake's legal dispute. And y'all know Taylor doesn't play like that. She has always voiced her dislike of being placed in the center of public drama. Now, when lawsuits between Blake and Justin began, Taylor initially showed Blake support because a bestie is always going to be a bestie. However, after an exposed screenshot that came out amidst the legal battle, Taylor Swift has removed herself from the whole situation. Blake had the nerve to make a ridiculous remark in a text she sent to Justin Baldoni, calling herself Khaleesi, the mother of dragons, and allegedly referring to Taylor as one of her dragons who was always going to swoop in and save the day. Ciao, that was the stroke. The stroke that broke the decade-long friendship between Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. Blake wrote to Justin Baldoni after a meeting where she invited Taylor Swift, unannounced, to pressure Justin to make changes to the movie's script. She wrote, "If you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi, and like her, I happen to have a few dragons. For better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine, and you will too, I can promise you." A Page 6 insider source says that Taylor can't help but feel used, following this revelation where her dear ex-best friend seemingly referred to her and her husband Ryan Reynolds as her dragons. The source told Daily Mail, Taylor Swift is taking a step back from her friendship with Blake Lively after feeling like she was used as an intimidation tactic by the actress in a lawsuit that she never wanted to be embroiled in. For the time being, she's taking a step back from Blake because she doesn't want to get tangled in this more than she already is, which is far more than she ever needed to be. Her friends also think that Blake's "I'm Khaleesi, and like her, I happen to have dragons" text to Justin was uncool and unnecessary because she was essentially used as an intimidation tactic. She was referred to as some pet or possession. Massive fallout, y'all. Massive. Now, this is starting to raise some questions about whether or not Taylor will actually break silence and come on out to testify in the Lively Baldoni lawsuit, but she has been quiet since her official statements. This entire mess started because Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively co-starred in a movie adaptation of Colleen Hoover's book titled It Ends With Us. The book explored the intricacies of romance and domestic violence, and y'all, it was a major hit as soon as it hit the shelves in 2019, with over 1 million copies sold in 20 languages that year alone. Enter Justin Baldoni, playing the handsome male lead Ryle Kincaid on screen while also directing the whole thing off-screen. This project was Justin's baby, but as it is, the drama following the release of the film has completely overshadowed the film and has been a major flop.
Okay, I know that everybody is talking about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and obviously all the It Ends With Us drama, but I just learned something that absolutely blew my mind. So literally all this time, I thought that Blake was the one who optioned the rights to It Ends With Us. Like, she's so tight with Colleen Hoover. I thought for sure she was who brought on Justin Baldoni. So I'd been kind of going, ugh, I don't really like the way that she's handling it, but you know, it's her film, it's her movie, her option, her whole thing. I guess she can call the shots. No, because Justin, 5 years ago, was the one who optioned this film. He brought Blake on because Colleen Hoover is such a big fan. This is his film, and he has basically been pushed out by the Blake Lively show. And that breaks my heart because I've always been a fan of Blake Lively. I've been a fan of her relationship with Ryan Reynolds and the way that they parent their kids. I've always been a fan of her, but this has literally just become like the Blake and Ryan show, like promoting Deadpool Wolverine, promoting her hair care line, all of that. But oh my gosh.
Blake Lively was casted as Justin's co-star, and he was pretty much excited about having her on board. But baby, Blake did not come to be some pretty yes sir co-star. She was going to snatch the helm of this boat and sail it into her delusional sunset. Blake, alongside her raggedy-ass husband Ryan Reynolds, tried to take the project away from Justin and get all the credit for its success. Blake wanted to change the script, edit the movie, and be in charge of the wardrobe. She wanted to pull the strings on everyone on set like some puppet master.
It's just as important to say, okay, I believe in this, and that's why I'm standing up for it, and that's why I'm not being difficult. And then there are other moments to go like, am I the asshole in the room? Like, what is happening here? I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that like that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do. And so it was a really strange position to be in because I felt like I don't want to just like be an actor. Like I want to have more authorship.
And baby girl wasn't just doing it to Justin and the filming crew. She did it to Colleen too, basically disrespecting the entire book's fan base. With the changes she made, fans are beyond convinced that she did not even read the book. She made changes to important details about the story, details that held core memories for Colleen, Colleen's family, and the fan base. She did it all the while giggling about it and talking over Colleen Hoover at joint interviews, forgetting that without the book, there'd literally be no movie.
Wait, so I have to say what the thing that like was important to her too, because like, you know, when you're making a movie, there's all these elements and there's just so many factors and so many things coming your way. And then you add to it that there's a book on top of it. And something that just like somehow slipped through the cracks that I didn't know, I didn't catch, is my hollow heart tattoo and the hollow heart that's carved. And that was just like, we were like, should we come up with like a better story about like why it's not right? Like, should we say it's an IP issue or like?
Right now the.
But it was literally someone was just like, what should we do for the hollow heart? And it was just like it randomly, arbitrarily became what it was in the movie. And Colleen saw the movie and like you guys saw the trailer, and she was like, that's not the right hollow heart. She was like, it's kind of a big deal. I have the tattoo. My family has the tattoo.
Readers
the fans have the tattoo. And so we changed the heart. So it's like our big superhero special effect in the movie. Is that it's the right heart now.
Ciao. Blake was a nightmare to work with during the film's production. When she didn't get things done her way, she would throw her weight around, make complaints to Sony, sometimes threatening not to finish or promote the movie, and overstretch the filming budget. She was basically being a big baby all over the damn place. In a bid to gain control of the set, she even tried to entice Justin. In a chat released on April 8th, 2023, Blake and Justin were discussing the It Ends With Us rooftop scene when the lead roles first met, and Blake literally made some sexual innuendos to Justin. I can send you my pass at the roof or just read with you when we get together next week. Let me know what you prefer. If you knew me in person longer, you'd have a sense of how flirty and yummy the ball busting would play. It's my love language. Spicy and playfully bold, never with teeth. And him serving back is just as important. Talk about nasty. And now she's out here trying to spin a whole narrative about Justin Baldoni. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds came together to sue the man for everything from an unhealthy, unsafe work environment to harassment. They demanded $250 million from him. As if that was not enough, Ryan then took jabs at Justin, dragging him for filth all over the place while enjoying the whole thing. That man made comical remarks about Justin Baldoni in his movie Deadpool vs. Wolverine. But hold up now. If your wife wife really suffered all this like she claimed she did, you wouldn't be out here making these funny jokes, would you?
Alright, if you thought Blake Lively's text messages were bad, get ready, because apparently there's footage. And Justin Baldoni's legal team says they're ready to mention it all. They claim they have footage, emails, text messages, all to back up the fact that Blake Lively is misrepresenting some of these claims that she alleges against Justin Baldoni, or just flat out making them up altogether. They also confirm plans to sue Ryan Reynolds, because they claim if Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively allege that this harassment was so persistent and she's emotionally distressed by it, then why was Ryan Reynolds making fun of it in his new film, Deadpool and Wolverine? Which in it we see him wearing a man bun, which we've seen Justin Baldoni wear. He calls himself Nice Pool, he calls himself a feminist, he references a podcast, he references losing baby weight, and he even mentions an intimacy coordinator in the scene. Which sounds like a direct shot at Justin Baldoni, which again, if the harassment was at the level that Blake Lively is claiming, why would you poke fun at it in your film? Baldoni's attorney sat down with Megyn Kelly. I know there are a lot of feelings about Megyn Kelly, but I will tell you, this interview was actually really good. She makes a lot of good pro-Blake Lively points in the interview as well, so it is pretty objective, and she grills him, and it's actually very interesting. So if you want more details and you want a more objective interview about the Lively versus Baldoni stuff outside of my podcast, I would recommend listening to Megyn's interview.
Blake and her boo, Ryan, really thought Justin was going to fold under the pressure of the lawsuit and media attention, all of which was part of a scheme to grant Blake exclusive rights to produce sequels of It Ends With Us without Justin. One news outlet said, the Bish Lively lied to It Ends With Us author Colleen Hoover, convincing her that Justin Baldoni had abused her, also she could take control of the movie's sequel. Backstory, Baldoni already owned the rights to the sequel. The only way for Lively to take over was to trigger the morals clause in his contract. So, what does she do? She creates false sexual assault accusations against Baldoni. The goal? Kick him out, take full control, and produce the movie sequel herself with Hoover. And y'all, Colleen Hoover was allegedly in on this stunt with Lively to boot Justin, but that's a story for another day.
We do have It Starts With Us, so I'm hoping to see you back in the double duty role.
I think there are better people for that one.
Justin.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Justin said he doesn't know if he'd be game to direct the next one, but perhaps Blake would. Is that something that you would entertain?
Oh, absolutely. I think that whoever decides to take charge of the next one would do it justice. But, you know, it's a lot of people to get the same schedules together again, so we'll see.
Oh, absolutely. She's so capable of that. She is a powerhouse. She can do literally anything.
Blake, with the support of her husband Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, even though she claims to have nothing to do with it, tried to pull the rug out from under Justin's feet. But nothing could have prepared them for this comeback. Honey, Justin came for all of them with receipts, dropping one screenshot after the other, like Uno reverse cards. This man shot back at Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the couple's publicist, pinning a whopping $400 million lawsuit against them for defamation.
Actor-director Justin Baldoni is now suing his former co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, seeking more than $400 million in damages, accusing them of defamation and extortion. Baldoni directed and acted in the hit film It Ends With Us, which starred Lively as well. 2 weeks ago, Lively sued Baldoni and his production company, alleging harassment on set and a coordinated campaign to attack her reputation. A lawyer for Baldoni called Lively's claims false and outrageous.
Ooh, Justin Baldoni's lawyer just revealed they have footage of Blake Lively on set of It Ends With Us that proves her claims are false or wildly exaggerated. They also announced plans to sue Ryan Reynolds. To show how plain Justin wanted to be about the lawsuit, he even made a website and put all of the evidence there for everyone who cared to check it out. All of Blake's lies were exposed, even her claims that Justin had fat-shamed her. Meanwhile, the poor guy had only simply asked his personal trainer, a close friend of Blake's, how much Blake weighed so he could prepare for a lift scene in the film, as this was important to avoid injury, not only to Justin, who suffered from a lifelong back injury, but to Blake as well. But y'all, Blake Lively and her PR team started a ratchet smear campaign against Justin Justin, where they spin every single narrative around to make Justin look bad. And now that everything is out there, everyone's coming for Blake, Ryan Reynolds, their publicist, and even Taylor Swift too, because from the looks of it, she definitely had a hand in forcing Justin Baldoni to make changes to the movie. Changes that suited her bestie's preferences and hers too, it would seem. There are even reports that Taylor also allegedly had the film's original composer fired so they could use her song as the anthem for the film. Y'all, this whole thing has been a mess from day one, and now that everything's coming to light and Taylor Swift is trying to distance herself, Blake feels betrayed that Taylor would leave her when she needed her the most. But people have no sympathy. This was to be expected. Lively is an absolute C word. She's an I don't get what I want, so I'm going to make your life a living hell type of person. Another user pointed out how Blake took the project as child's play compared to Justin's dedication to it. The way Justin Baldoni talks about the movie and the way Blake Lively does seems like two different movies. I like Justin's version way more than Blake. Seems more about her life than the movie. Other users are disappointed in Colleen Hoover. One person said, disappointed in the author and cast for having nothing to say after the text came out in original context showing Blake's lies. But they were very quick to stand by Blake's side without hearing the full story. Whew, this scandal is turning out to be the event of the season. I mean, what a way to start the year. Now, I want to know your thoughts about the whole thing. More importantly, whose side are you on? Team Lively or Team Baldoni? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, you might want to stick around by hitting that like and subscribe button because there's a lot more coming down the pipeline.